The first issue is National Animal Feeds Development Strategy by the Ministry. The government has embarked on development of an animal feeds, has developed an animal feeds development strategy to address feed situation in the country, in which it prioritizes promotion of increased production of animal feeds, promotion of animal forage conservation, use of technologies such as irrigation to facilitate production of animal feeds in arid and semi-arid areas, as well as in arid and semi-arid areas, among others. Increase in production will ensure availability of adequate forage and the constituent feed ingredients, which will in turn reduce the cost of animal feeds. The second measure that the ministry is taking up is land commercialization initiative. The government is availing an unutilized land for animal feed production through the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development. The land is available for both local and international investors, and the land will be used for production of feeds to ensure availability and reduce the cost of livestock feeds. It will commercialize pastures and fodder production for distribution to farmers. The government land, such as that held by the Agricultural Development Corporation, Kenya Agriculture and Livestock Research Organization, and livestock farms and former livestock holding grounds, will be utilized for this purpose. The third measure that the government is the ministry is taking up, is public-private partnership in feed production. Honourable Speaker, the government is encouraging public-private partnership to ensure that there is sufficient investment in the livestock feed sector. For the last 2 years, the government has participated in international conferences in Rome and other countries where it has pitched for feasible investment options in animal feed industry. As a result, several investors have already arrived in the country to invest, a key among them including the following. One is Heuse Animal Feeds, a Dutch-based company who are investing a total of 300 million Kenya shillings to produce 200,000 metric tons of feed annually in a modern feed milling factory at the river, and the factory is set to open later in the year. Honourable Speaker, the other one is the government has also signed an MOU with the United Arab Emirates, based in Al Dahra, United Arab Emirates company, based in it's called Al Dahra Company, which will lease and manage up to 200,000 acres of irrigated farmland in the Galana Kulalu Ranch, with an estimated investment of up to $800 million. The other measure that the ministry is taking, the government is taking, is duty waiver for importation of raw materials for processing of animal feeds. Honourable Speaker, the government has made deliberate effort to allow duty-free importation of animal feed supplements and ingredients, particularly the enzymes, amino acids, and protein concentrates, in order to lower the overall cost of animal feed. The duty waiver addresses the problem.
How much more to go, Dr. Mutunga?
1.5 pages, maybe 3 minutes.
Yes, finish quickly.
Okay. Honourable Speaker, the government has also deliberately incentivized capital investment in animal feed manufacturing and livestock production through similar duty waivers to enhance local production and also value addition. The fourth measure is promotion of alternative and sustainable feed ingredients. This basically recognizes the reliance on important ingredients, and therefore local production is prioritized in this particular case. So the government is exploring possibilities for additional sources of proteins, which include alternatives such as fish and soya beans, and this further reduces the protein source of the animal feed, which is not in competition with the human beings. And the seventh one is investment in, the sixth one is investment in capacity building on feeds, where the government is basically training or building capacity for farmers to be able to make their own rations, which is called home in ration, and this is spreading across the country. And the final measure that the government is taking, is implementing, is partnership with the other stakeholders in form of programmatic arrangement. We have several projects within the ministry, such as the National Value Chain Development Support Program, and the Food System Resilience Program, which are covering all the counties, the 47 of them, and these are aimed at availing animal feed at lower cost. The third issue that the honorable member wanted clarification on is the initiatives being put in place to enhance milk production in the country. Honorable Speaker, the initiatives are as follows. I've basically mentioned them and briefly elaborate. One of them is enhancing production of livestock feeds to improve dairy feeding. That I have already gone into. I don't need to allude to it anymore. The other one is improving the quality and safety of the feed itself, where the ministry or the government came up with a legislation, which is the Kenya Fertilizer and Animal Feeds Act, Cap 345, that is being implemented currently to ensure that animal feeds are available, which are safe and also cheap. The third one is improving dairy genetics, and this is important, Honorable Speaker. On improving the genetics, the government has set up an additional semen production unit at ADC Endebes in Kitale. And this is under, and then the other one is the one at Kabete, Lower Kabete, which is the Kenya Animal Genetics Resource Center. The two of them are producing semen, and this semen has also been supported by a distribution system whereby there is production of liquid nitrogen in various parts of this country. And liquid nitrogen on our speaker centers are including the one in Eldoret, there's another one in Meru, another one in Kirinyaga and Kaimosi. These are supplementary centers where you can get the liquid nitrogen, and therefore you can get semen stored for a very long time. The other initiative is also having a sexed semen production unit, where the government has invested in an equipment to have sexed semen, and it is possible for Kenyans to get semen to produce AFAs at affordable rates or female calves. The the second last initiative on our speaker is capacity building of farmers and other stakeholders, where various initiatives have been put in place to enable the Kenyan farmers to produce better milk, more milk, and clean milk for that matter at affordable rates. And the final one is implementation of key donor-funded projects that basically include the one I mentioned earlier and others that have got an entire country coverage to enable the Kenyan farmers to improve on the quality of the animals themselves in order to improve on the quality and the amount of milk that is produced. Honourable Speaker, I do submit.
Thank you, Mtunga. Karemba.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Well, I wish to appreciate the effort made by the chair in responding to my issue. Honourable Speaker, I would wish to mention and make it clear to the chair that there lies a huge potential in this country on the area of dairy production. And I would wish that the committee and ourselves also follow up to ensure that we exploit the benefits that we can get from the dairy farmers, because we have a huge demand for milk and products from dairy milk. And I believe that it is only if the government would go into ensuring that the feeds are not as costly as they are currently. Recently, Honourable Speaker, we witnessed a high, or rather a spirited campaign to have mass vaccination of animals, and that was targeting the beef, or rather the livestock that is reared for beef. But mostly, if you go to our region, which is in Embu, you will find that we have many cows which are were not reared for beef but for dairy. And I believe that whereas we are not opposed to the mass vaccination, we believe that there is also enormous potential in the dairy sector, and we would get a lot of help if the animal feeds can cost lower. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
There's nothing to respond to Mtunga. He has just complimented what you said. Dr. Nyikal.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In response to a request for statement by Honorable Anna Kainan, CBS MP, before the Departmental Committee on the status of Kalaza outbreak in Wajir County, Honorable members, I wish to bring to the attention of this House the current situation regarding the outbreak of Kala-Azar, also known as visceral leishmaniasis in Wajir. Kala-Azar is a life-threatening parasitic disease caused by a parasite. It is transmitted through the bite of infected sandflies and remains a serious public health concern, particularly in Kenya's northeastern, Rift Valley, and eastern regions. If left untreated, the disease has a fatality rate of 95%. Common symptoms include prolonged fever, weight loss, diarrhea, fatigue, anemia, darkening of the skin, swollen glands, and enlargement of the spleen and liver. Kala-Azar status in Wajir County. Kenya has, over the past 6 years, consistently reported between 500 and 1,300 cases of Kala-Azar annually, largely concentrated in 11 endemic counties. Since September 2024, however, a significant surge in reported cases has been observed in Wajir County emerging as the epicenter. To date, Wajir has recorded 672 confirmed cases, the highest among affected counties. Of these, 85% of patients have been successfully treated and recovered. 11% are undergoing treatment, and tragically, 29 lives have been lost, representing a case fatality of 3.8%, which means out of 1,000 people, 38 people have died. The most affected sub-counties are Wajir East, Wajir West, and Elders. Currently, 86 cases are on treatment across the various sub-county health facilities. In Wajir County Referral Hospital, 55 cases, Grift Sub-County Hospital, 22, Elder Sub-County Hospital, 8, and Bule Sub-County Hospital, 1. Leishmaniasis transmission in the affected region is predominantly driven by the presence of and proliferation of a sandfly known as phlebotomas, which thrive in arid and semi-arid areas commonly found in northern Kenya. Human infections typically occur when individuals are exposed to these vectors while residing or moving in those endemic areas, particularly near termite mounds, animal shelters, and cracks in walls in abandoned buildings. The risk of infection and disease is severely and significantly heightened by underlying vulnerabilities like malnutrition, weakened immunities, comorbidities like people who are infected with diseases like HIV, and delayed health-seeking behavior. The disease disproportionately affects marginalized populations living in remote, underserved areas where access to timely diagnosis and treatment is limited. Environmental and socioeconomic factors further exacerbate the outbreak. These include poor housing conditions that offer little protection against sandfly, water scarcity, and increased population mobility, displacement due to conflict or climatic factors. Additionally, low community awareness combined with high levels of cross-border movement complicates surveillance, control, and case management. Without sustained multi-sectoral interventions, including vector control, early detection, and continuous health system strengthening, the risk of recurrent outbreaks and higher mortality remains significant. Intervention undertaken in Wajir so far. Honorable members, in response to the outgoing Kala-Azar outbreak in Wajir County, the government of Kenya, through the Ministry of Health, in collaboration with the World Health Organization and other partners, has activated a multi-sectoral coordinated public health response, meaning including many sectors. The ministry deployed a multidisciplinary team led by their field epidemiology team to conduct rapid field investigations and case management. To bolster frontline capacity, they have trained over 30 healthcare workers in diagnosis, treatment, and case management of leishmaniasis across the 4 affected centers. This is complemented by continuous medical education targeted on the job mentorship and training on case-based surveillance reporting through health information systems aimed at improving the data accuracy and timelines. To support the diagnostics and treatment, the Ministry of Health has distributed 768 boxes of a rapid diagnostic test, 850 vials of sodium stibogluconate, 1,900 vials from paromycin, 840 vials of ambisome. Those are actually the 3 drugs that are used in the treatment. An additional 200 test kits and 400 more vials of drugs were also procured using supplementary funds. Furthermore, in collaboration with the partners such as World Health Organization and Medicines Sans Frontières, the ministry coordinated the delivery of these critical health products and technologies to Wajir County to ensure uninterrupted availability of essential diagnostic and treatment supplies for the affected population. To strengthen inpatient cases, 100 hospital beds and mattresses were distributed to improve the quality of care and comfort in the treatment facilities. Importantly, 3 mobile laboratory units were deployed in the most affected sub-counties to facilitate timely diagnosis, treatment, and on-site data collection. In addition to these medical efforts, the ministry launched comprehensive vector control activities aimed at mitigating the spread of leishmaniasis by targeting sandfly vector responsible for the disease transmission. To this end, the ministry procured 50 farm guard masked duster machines, 150 omni pumps, and 141 2-stroke engine sprayers. Basically, these are actually for spraying in the environment and spraying inside the houses. And also 1,000 sachets of insecticides for the same. These integrated vector management strategies are crucial to reducing vector density and lowering transmission. Also, in the long term, the ministry has continued in the recognition of the current nature of visceral leishmaniasis, the broader and more resilient public health systems in the ministry has initiated long-term measures aimed at sustaining progress and preventing future outbreaks. These include a national strategic plan. They've also provided resources through the supplementary budget, and this has been useful in containing the outbreak. Honorable members, looking forward, the ministry has worked out a plan with KEMSA to distribute the required drugs and equipment in the affected areas. And also, Mr. Speaker, in the long term, Kenya Medical Research Institute has played a central role and will continue to play a central role to actually monitor the disease outbreak, monitor responses for a long. This is not only for the regions affected, but for the country as large. So the ministry remains available to provide any further clarification that this Honorable House may require. Signed by the Honorable Minister Aden Duale, ECG, EGA, Cabinet Secretary. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Kainan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the answer given by the chair is comprehensive. But as usual, Mr. Speaker, most of it is theoretical. The Kalaza outbreak, Mr. Speaker, is not a matter of yesterday. It has been there for years. And I'm sure in your other lives, even as a lawyer, as a magistrate, you know what happens in that particular area. Every year we are being told there is a strategic plan. Something is being done. Mr. Speaker, if we look at even the answer, 95% of all the Kalaza reported cases actually are fatal. 2 Wajir alone has over 762 cases. Ideally, it means it's something that we know health is devolved. But equally, Mr. Speaker, we also know that most governors, most county governments are also not prepared for this critical function. Therefore, it behoves upon the national government, notwithstanding this as a critical county function, to be always ready and be prepared to attend to these innocent people when they are infected by these Kalaza, these sandflies. Mr. Speaker, this has happened. It has happened many years ago. It has happened last year. It's happening this year. Ideally, by now, we should have a rapid response team at the Ministry of Health headquarters that will always be ready actually to attend to any part that faces this challenge. So what urgent measures are you putting in place, or the ministry putting in place, to make sure such outbreaks don't recur again to any other part of the Republic of Kenya?
Thank you. Dr. Nyikal, what urgent measures?
According to this report, Mr. Speaker, they actually have a team, an epidemiology team, that is actually who actually respond. And this case, actually, they responded, and they started by actually training people, and that involved the county health workers. That's according to the report, and also purchase of the drugs and the test kits that were required, and also purchase of the equipment that is needed to spray both in the houses and also in the environment where people live. So those are really the measures that I could see in this report they have taken.
Honorable members, before the next order, allow me to acknowledge in the Speaker's gallery Pare Council of Elders led by Mzerama Lukindo from Taveta constituency, Taita Taveta County. Musimame, mushangiliwe. Asante sana. Munakaribishwa katika jumba la bunge na mkae kwa starehe na fasaha. Yes, Bwire.
Honorable Speaker, Article 56 of the Constitution.
Si usungumuze Kiswahili, wageni wako wakusikie.
Asante Mheshimiwa Speaker. Mheshimiwa Speaker, kifungu cha 56 cha katiba ya Kenya ya mwaka 2010 inatoa mwelekeo kwamba serikali itafanya mipango ya kutambua jamii ndogo Kenya, na hiyo mipango itaongeza mambo ya utawala, mambo ya kazi, mambo ya kutambua mila zao na desturi zao. Mheshimiwa Speaker, nakumbuka ukija kwa constituency yangu mwaka 2023, wazee hawa ambao wako mbele yako leo walikueleza kwamba wangetamani sana watambulike kama moja ya kabila la Kenya. Nakumbuka fika Mheshimiwa Speaker, ulieleza hiyo siku kwamba kuchelewa kwa kutambulishwa kwao ni kinyume cha katiba, na kwamba kama jamii zingine, kama jamii ya Wasomali kwa mpaka wa Somali na Kenya, kama jamii ya Waljaluo katika mpaka wa Kenya na Tanzania sehemu za Mwanza, kama jamii ya Wakuria kwa mpaka wa Kenya na Tanzania, pia Wapare ambao wako kwa mpaka wa Kenya na Tanzania kule Taveta watambulike. Leo hii Mheshimiwa Spika, nakuja hapa kutoa shukrani kwa niaba ya kamati ya wazee wa Kipare na kwa niaba ya jamii ya Wapare ambao wanaishi Taveta na sehemu zingine za Kenya, na kwa niaba ya eneo bunge la Taveta kukushukuru Mheshimiwa Spika na kushukuru bunge hili la kitaifa kwa kuwapatia nafasi kuleta malalamishi yao bungeni leo. Wamesikilizwa na wamepatiwa uhakikisho kwamba petition yao itaenda kuangaliwa na itahakikishwa. Na Mheshimiwa Spika, niseme tu jambo moja nikiketi. Mwaka 2022 mmoja wa jamii hii alikuwa amependekezwa kuwa nominated councillor kwa chama cha Wiper, member of county assembly kwa chama cha Wiper. Hiyo nafasi ikachukuliwa, na baada ya kwenda kotini, koti ikasema kwamba kwa sababu Wapare wanatambulika kama stateless, basi wao sio minority, na kwa hivyo waliwekwa vibaya kwa ile kategori ya minority tribe. Kwa hivyo hatua hii ambayo imechukuliwa na bunge la kitaifa leo ni hatua ya kipekee sana, na nataka nichukue nafasi hii kuwashukuru Mheshimiwa Spika na kuwashukuru wajumbe wenzangu kwa kuwapatia Wapare nafasi ya kufika kwao bunge leo. Wengine wao wameniambia hawajawahi kutambulika kwa bunge la kitaifa, na hata kuwatambua leo. Mheshimiwa Spika, asante na Mwenyezi Mungu aendelee kukubariki. Asante sana.
Asante Mheshimiwa Bwire. Mheshimiwa wa Kisauni.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika, pia mimi kunipa fursa hii kutilia nguvu swala la ndugu yetu Mheshimiwa Bwire. Pia mimi niwapongeze wazee wa Kipare waliopata nafasi ya kufika katika bunge hili, na pia nitie mkazo na nguvu kwamba waweze kutambuliwa, kwa sababu kule chini wanapata shida kubwa, kuanzia wao wazee mpaka watoto wao. Inakuwa hata shule za msingi siku hizi mpaka wana stakabadhi ya kuzaliwa ndio uweze kusajiliwa kama mwanafunzi. Inakuwa ni vigumu kwa watoto wao, wajukuu zao, na hawa ni jamii ambayo wako wa Kenya, ni Kenya, hakuna mahali ingine wanaishi. Wanaweza kuwa wako upande wa Tanzania, lakini wako wale Wapare ambao ni wa Kenya, ambao tuko nao paka maeneo bunge ya Kisauni na sehemu zingine. Kwa hivyo mimi Mheshimiwa Spika, pia nasimama hapa kwamba kutilia nguvu watambuliwe kwa haraka kama jamii za Kipemba, watambuliwe walivyotambuliwa, na wale waliobaki waendelee kutambuliwa, bora wako Kenya, ili kusudi waweze kuajiriwa, waweze kufanya mambo yote ambayo yanatikana kama raia anavyofanya. Kwa hivyo Mheshimiwa Spika, mimi nimesimama kuunga mkono na kusisitiza kwamba hili jambo lichukuliwe kwa haraka ili wasiweze kupata tabu na adhabu wanaoendelea kupata. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika.
Owen Baya.
Honorable Speaker, allow me to express myself best in English. I want to address a broader issue, Honorable Speaker. And I want to say this, Honorable Speaker. As a country, we must end...
Yes, Honorable Millie Odiam.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I wish to protest very strongly at the attempt by Honorable Baya to speak in English when it is people like Honorable Millie Odhiambo, that Kiswahili si mdomo chao, that cannot speak Kiswahili today. But when he's here, Mr. Speaker, we would like to sit here and get mesmerized and to learn and to be experts. When we get such an opportunity, can he at least speak Kiswahili so we learn? When we were in primary school, Mr. Speaker, my school, we spoke English throughout in primary school, except Wednesdays, when we were told to speak in Kiswahili. The school went very silent on Wednesdays. Mr. Speaker, I'd want to remember my primary by being quiet today and partaking of the knowledge in Kiswahili. So could you please declare him out of order so that he speaks in Kiswahili?
Mr. Speaker, I'm not an expert at mesmerizing people. And allow me to tell the Honorable Millie, I can express myself best the way I would like to. Honorable Speaker, we must end statelessness in this country. Stateless must be ended.
Yes.
Stateless is actually a position where you belong nowhere. And it is one of the greatest sufferings in the world, not to belong to a state. Honorable Speaker, we have salvaged the Makonde, we have salvaged the Shona, the Pemba, the Pare, the Rundi, and the Rwandese that are still in this country require an affirmative action. We solved the Makonde problem. We still have a problem with the Nubians because of their code. We have a problem with the Watha, and the Sanya. We still have issues, Honorable Speaker. But as a country, we should be in the forefront to solve the issue of statelessness. I have pushed a bill, Honorable Speaker, in this House that has taken inordinately too long to actually finish, to solve the whole issue of statelessness. And if given an opportunity, I believe this Parliament, the 13th Parliament, should be in record to finish statelessness. And we have a president who is not averse to these issues. I think when he came to Kilifi to give the Pemba citizenship, he was very categorical. Let Parliament